Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome you all to the third edition of the Aluminium Recycling Forum in Oman.
Your Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Ali Al-Amri, Chairman of the Environment Authority, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Sahar Aluminium, I extend to you a warm welcome to the third edition of the Aluminium Recycling Forum. Before we proceed, let us see a safety demonstration video.
Welcome to JW Marriott Hotel Muscat. We sincerely hope you are enjoying your time with us. We are currently in the conference hall located on the first floor. We kindly request your full attention to this safety video, as it provides important instructions on responding in an emergency. In the event of a fire within the building, a fire alarm will sound, followed by a public announcement directing you to evacuate. Please remain calm and exit the building through the designated emergency doors. Our emergency response team will be available to assist and guide you to the nearest exit, which is in the hotel car park. This area serves as the designated assembly area for check-in and receiving future instructions. At JW Marriott Hotel Muscat, your safety is our top priority. To ensure your well-being, we have qualified first aiders on site to provide any necessary medical assistance at any time. While visiting us, we encourage you to take advantage of our state-of-the-art health and wellness facilities, including a fitness center, spa, and outdoor swimming pool. Indulge in a culinary adventure at our dining venues, each offering a diverse and unique cuisine. We genuinely hope you have a pleasant and enjoyable time here at our hotel.
Over the last 2 years, the Aluminium Recycling Forum has become a premier platform to raise awareness about sustainability and reprocessing in the Sultanate of Oman. Here's a video encapsulating the last 2 editions of the Recycling Forum.
In the Sultanate of Oman, sustainability is no longer a vision, but a commitment. Driven by this purpose, Sohar Aluminium, in collaboration with the Environment Authority of Oman, brings together industry leaders, policymakers, and innovators on one platform, leading to actionable results. The journey ahead demands collaboration, bold ideas, and decisive action. Together, we are not just recycling metal, we are reshaping a sustainable future. Let us build tomorrow responsibly. Welcome to the third Aluminium Recycling Forum.
What a splendid video. Can we have a huge round of applause? It is my honor now to invite on stage Engineer Saeed bin Mohammed Al-Mas'oudi, the Chief Executive Officer of Sahar Aluminium, to deliver the welcome address. An experienced leader with broad industry expertise, Engineer Saeed brings strategic vision and strong commitment to excellence. Please join me in welcoming Engineer Saeed Al-Masoudi on stage.
السلام عليكم صباح الخير. Your Excellency, Dr. Abdullah bin Ali Al-Amri, Chairman of the Environment Authority, Chairman and members of Suhar Aluminium Board of Directors, industry partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome you all to the third edition of the Aluminium Recycling Forum in Oman. I would like to thank all our participants who are here with us, in person or online, despite the current geopolitical situation in the region. Today, we have not simply gathered for a forum, but we come together around to share a purpose, to rethink, reshape, and redefine the future of aluminium in a world that demands sustainably. Since the first edition of this forum, aluminium recycling in Oman has evolved in the right direction, and Suhar Aluminium has recycled more than 8,000 tons cumulatively, resulting in an improved cost and environmental performance. The Environment Authority continues to set the tone for responsible growth in Oman. Its commitment to environmental stewardship is not only guiding policy, it's shaping a national mindset and inspiring industries like ours to do more and to do better. Joining hands together here today reflects something powerful, a growing recognition and that aluminium recycling is not longer a supporting act in the industry story, but a central chapter in the journey towards a circular economy. Aluminium itself tells a remarkable story. It is a material that does not fade with time. It renews itself. It can be reborn again without losing its strength and integrity. Few materials carry such a promise, and in that promise lies an opportunity, not just for the industry, but for humanity. We are here today to discuss a challenge and find solutions to aluminium recycling. I encourage you to discuss your challenge openly and objectively with the aim of taking the aluminium recycling industry to another level of circular economy and make the most out of our national resources with cooperation of all stakeholders, from regulators to collector, logistic, recyclers, and end users. We have improved a lot on statistics, but even today, the unreported volume of scrap exported under different titles costs the country a lot of money. Therefore, enhancing the recycling ecosystem to include all types of aluminium scrap. Pre- and post-consumer should be well managed, with export allowed only via specific ports. Because every ton of recycled aluminium is more than just the material recovered. It's energy saved, it's emission avoided. It is an important step away from waste disposal and a strategic move toward responsibility. In Oman, we stand at a unique crossroads of opportunity. Our nation is charting a bold and balanced path, one that brings together economic ambitions with environmental responsibility. Oman Vision 2040 and our Net Zero 2050 commitment are not just targets. They are signals of commitment, calling on all of us to innovate, collaborate, and lead. Building a thriving recycling ecosystem is not the work of one entity or one sector. It's a collective effort that begins with awareness, grows through collaboration, and succeeds through integration. Connecting collection, technology, processing, and manufacturing into seamless value chain. At Sohar Aluminium, we see ourselves not just as a producer, but as a leader of this cycle. Recycling, it is embedded in our strategy, but more importantly, it is integrated in our responsibility. We are committed to expanding our efforts while being equally responsibility. We are committed to expanding our efforts while being equally committed to working hand in hand with partners, policymakers, and communities to strengthen the entire ecosystem. And that is precisely what this forum matters. Since its inception, it has grown into more than just a platform for a dialogue. It has become a catalyst for action, a space where ideas meet ambitions, and where conversation translated into progress. The future of aluminum recycling in Oman will not be defined by what we discuss today, but by what we choose to do tomorrow. Together, we have the opportunity to position Oman not just as a participant, but as a leader on the global recycling landscape. Thank you for being part of this journey. I wish you all an inspiring and impactful forum. Shukran jazilan. Thank you. Ahsantu.
Thank you, Engineer Saeed, for your insightful speech and for setting the tone for today's forum. Sohar Aluminium was formed in September 2004 as a landmark greenfield aluminium smelter project, and it has emerged as a regional leader through its efficiency, sustainability-led efforts, and high environment, health, and safety standards. In many ways, Sohar Aluminium's development mirrors the Sultanate of Oman's own emergence to the world stage as an economy which is driving forward at a consistent pace while being mindful and respectful of its cultural and heritage values. Let's look at a corporate film on Sohar Aluminium.
Like the boundless will of mankind and our limitless imagination, our aspirations and our hopes, so is aluminium. A metal that has no limits, multiple uses, lightweight yet solid and strong, infinitely recyclable. This is the metal of the future. Aluminium surrounds us in many shapes and forms, small and big. It connects us, transports us, and gives us energy. Not a day passes by without interacting with aluminium around us or using it to make our lives better. Here, we tell the story of its production in Sohar, in the Sultanate of Oman. Sohar Aluminium was formed in 2004 to undertake a landmark greenfield aluminium smelter project in the Sultanate of Oman, combining the strength of its shareholders, OQ, Taqa, and Rio Tinto, with a total investment of $2.5 billion. Sohar Aluminium is a landmark industrial project and a key contributor to Oman's sustainable development ambitions and long-term prosperity. Over the years, the company's excellence in its operations and its outstanding achievements are attributed to the tremendous support of its shareholders and partners and the tireless efforts and dedication of its people. The company is considered as one of the important players in the national efforts of economic diversification as part of Oman's Vision 2040. The company enjoys international recognition and acclaim for its usage of distinguished and eco-friendly techniques in producing aluminium. Situated in Sohar, in the North Al Batana Governorate, Sohar Aluminium comprises of an aluminium smelter, a dedicated power plant, and port facility. The smelter includes three main units: the carbon plant, a 1.2-kilometer pot line, and a cast house. This smelter uses melting technology developed by Rio Tinto, which is amongst the most productive and energy-efficient smelter technologies available. The carbon plant includes paste plant, bath plant, anode baking furnace, and a rodding shop, all of which process coke and pitch to supply an average of more than 200,000 anodes per year to the pot line. The pot line that lies at the heart of the smelter operations consists of 360 cells divided into 2 rooms and has an annual design production capacity of 390,000 tons. The cast house handles the final products as molten metal, which is supplied directly to the downstream customers, and solid metal in the form of ingots and sows that are exported globally. The cast house includes 2 ingot casting lines and a sow caster. Aluminium production requires significant amount of electricity, which is provided by Sohar Aluminium's power plant that operates a state-of-the-art combined cycle technology with a production capacity of 1,000 megawatts. The power plant is situated in the Sohar Industrial Port with a strategic position for easy access to seawater that is used for cooling and steam condensation. The plant includes facilities for water desalination in order to provide the smelter and the power plant with water. Sohar Aluminium's port facility has been designed and constructed to receive vessels with a capacity of up to 75,000 metric tons for importing raw materials. The port includes facilities for unloading bulk materials, connecting conveyor, and a set of silos for the storage of alumina, petroleum coke, and liquid pitch. In addition to these operational facilities, the company includes several supportive and administrative departments that function cohesively towards building a lasting legacy for the organization. Since inception, Sohar Aluminium has applied international best practices for operational excellence, management, and quality. In addition to the constant pursuit of continuous improvement, commitment to preserving the environment, and utmost care for the health and safety of employees and surrounding communities. The company adopts an accurate and integrated system to preserve the environment, health, and safety, which is a top priority. Therefore, it seeks to integrate the related aspects into the daily work and tasks of its employees and contractors in order to create and promote a culture of zero harm. Employees and contractors are trained and qualified in order to create a safe, independent, and responsible work environment. When it comes to the environment, Sohar Aluminium is committed to reducing the impacts of its operations on the environment by controlling greenhouse gas emissions, energy efficiency, treated water, waste management, and planning and implementing effective strategies for managing available resources. Placing the health of its workforce as a top priority, Sohar Aluminium has an advanced on-site medical center and team that is equipped to deal with cases of injuries and diseases related to the industrial environment. The team carries out health awareness tasks for work teams through health awareness programs, activities, and events. Sohar Aluminium realizes that the human element is the main pillar on which the company is based. Therefore, its human resources receive attention and care by providing competitive incentives and benefits, training and development opportunities, in addition to developing technical, administrative, and leadership skills. All of this contributes to qualifying the workforce and enhancing Omanization rates, which over the years have reached record levels, a source of pride for the company. The company's Industrial Training Institute is one of the main facilities that contributes to the development of the workforce and refine their skills and knowledge. The institute includes a mechanical and electrical training workshop, training rooms, a welding and fabrication workshop, a computer lab, and a multi-purpose hall. The institute employs qualified Omani instructors to carry out various technical and non-technical training courses and programs. The establishment of Sohar Aluminium was the first step towards setting up a vital aluminium industry in the Sultanate of Oman, opening up prospects for downstream projects and industries that contribute to the consolidation of this industry locally, with local and foreign investments, providing job opportunities and increasing in-country value. With a clear ambition to be a committed partner of the community and a responsible corporate citizen, Sohar Aluminium has a vibrant corporate social responsibility program through which it implements sustainable social projects and initiatives aimed at serving the society. Its social responsibility framework focuses on supporting vital sectors. Jusur Foundation, which the company has contributed in its establishment and finances its community projects and initiatives. In realization of its aspirations to be a world-class and a pioneer industrial company, Sohar Aluminium has and will always pursue industrial excellence through adopting global practices. It acts in favor of protecting the environment, implementing high working standards, maintaining excellent relations with stakeholders, and committing to transparent policies and moral responsibilities. Along with its employees, Sohar Aluminium places equal emphasis on the safety and well-being of its contractors through its robust contractor management system. Through regular awareness sessions and compliance check, Sohar Aluminium ensures that its contractors' rights are safeguarded and they enjoy a decent life outside the company's premises, all of which are summarized under the ESG standards. As a testament to its successful journey, Sohar Aluminium has been recognized with several local, regional, and international awards across various sectors, from employee welfare to operational excellence to health and safety and community support. When it comes to achievements and successes, sky is the limit. These are genuine characteristics and aspects deeply rooted in everything we do at Sohar Aluminium, founded on firm values, honesty, integrity, respect, trust, empowerment, and teamwork. The journey continues with determination and leadership as Sohar Aluminium builds on its history and consolidates its position, placing the Sultanate of Oman on the global aluminium industry map with confidence and assuredness. Sohar Aluminium, aluminium delivered responsibly.
It is time for the inaugural address of the Aluminium Recycling Forum. And to do the honors, I invite on stage Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al-Kalbani, the Director General of Environmental Affairs in the Directorate General of Environmental Affairs of the Environment Authority of Oman. Dr. Mohammed has participated in a number of national, regional, and international conferences and exhibitions related to various environmental aspects. Please join me in welcoming on stage Dr. Mohammed.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Your Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Ali Al-Amri, Chairman of the Environment Authority, Guest of Honor, Engineering Abdurrahman bin Ahmed Al-Harthi, Chairman Board of Sohar Aluminium, Engineering Saeed bin Muhammad Al-Mas'oudi, CEO Sohar Aluminium, Mr. Mahmoud Delmi, Secretary General of Gulf Aluminium Council, who is joining us online, distinguished keynotes, speakers, distinguished guests, CEOs, representatives of governments, private sectors, esteemed guests. It gives me great honors to welcome all of you to this morning as we launch the Aluminium Waste Recycling Forum. This initiative builds on ongoing efforts on the Environmental Authority in coordination with Sohar Aluminium Company and in cooperations with several governmental entities and private sectors, partners involved in this circular economy with the focus on the aluminium scrap recycling. This forum aims to strengthen the collaborations in developing and effective mechanisms for managing aluminium waste. It will also highlight practices and recycling processes and advancing circular economy principles. It brings together key stakeholders, experts, policymakers, and institutions with the aluminium industry to exchange insights, sharing experiences, and explore the latest global technology and trends in sustainability framework and future of aluminium scrap recycling in the Sultanate of Oman. Distinguished guests, our planet is facing serious environmental problems due to the unsustainable productions and consumption patterns. Each year, humanity generates about 2.3 billion tons of municipal solid waste. Approximately 2.7 billion people lack access to proper waste collections. Only around 62% worldwide of this waste is properly managed. Waste pollution significantly threaten human well-being, economic prosperity, and accelerate environmental crises, including climate change, biodiversity, and pollution. Without effective actions, and global waste generations could rise to about 3.8 billion tons annually by 2050. According to the international reports, green initiatives could save governments up to around $70 billion by 2040 and creates an estimated of about 200,000 new jobs. With an effective actions, global annual waste management costs could drop to about $270 billion by 2050. The United Nations indicates that these gains can be amplified by shifting towards a circular economy model, adopting sustainable business practices, and enhancing waste management could yield to more than $100 billion as a net revenue annually. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, integrated waste management is one of the vital components of Oman national strategy to protect the environment and ensure public health from all kinds of pollution. These practices are fundamental to Oman Vision 2040, where sustainable environment and natural resources are one of the central pillars. Oman seeks to balance development objectives with the protection of ecosystem, climate sustainability, and biodiversity. This vision is embodied in Oman Integrated Environmental Strategy, which accounts for economic, social, and ecological dimensions in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Oman's commitments to environmental safety, pollution control, and ecosystems conservation are reflected in a wide range of policies, strategies, laws, and regulations, specifically in the field of waste management and recycling. These efforts are the key of Oman Vision 2040 and its environmental strategy, particularly in the goal of enhancing national waste management systems. Distinguished guests, the Environment Authority has taken the lead in developing and advancing integrated waste management by developing a national waste policy, drafting waste law, and establishing a national strategy of waste management. These efforts are supported by the updates of environmental regulations and comprehensive framework. This system recognizes waste as national resources that can be recovered, reused, and reintegrated into the economy. This achievement includes measures to reduce waste generation, increase waste recycling rates, adopts advanced technology for waste management, and harness waste for energy production. These efforts support the National Plan for structured transition to carbon neutrality by 2050 and underscore the importance of environmental awareness and community practices in waste management across Oman. The Environment Authority also has applied the circular economy by enabling the practices or the private sector, to build resilience and diversified economy. In the year 2020, the Environment Authority issued regulations to governing the export of waste. Based on this regulation, it's prohibited to export all types of hazardous and non-hazardous waste from the Sultanate of Oman without obtaining a license from the Environment Authority. In the event that an export license is required for waste that can be utilized or used in the Sultanate, the priority is given to the local market. This regulation is in line with the Oman border strategy to foster responsible waste management, increase local recycling capacity, and reduce the export of all kinds of waste, including aluminium scrap. There are several successful stories on recycling practices since the issuing of this regulation in 2020. For example, the number of plastic waste has increased to about 27 recycling facilities in 2025, resulting in a recycling quantities of more than 600,000 tons. Furthermore, the steel scrap has increased to about 5 recycling facilities in 2025, and also that resulted in more than 700,000 tons in 2025. In addition, the number of recycling facilities, for example, tires waste, has also increased in 2025 to around 14 recycling facilities and results into about more than 300,000 tons of recycling. For the aluminium scrap, the number of recycling facilities has recently also increased to about 5 in 2025, producing the total recycling quantities of more than 60,000 to 80,000 tons. Sultanate of Oman has also the potentials actually to become a major aluminium recycling centers in the industry across the GCC in the coming future. In conclusion, Oman established more than 85 recycling facilities until the end of year 2025, with an increase in the percentage of recycling facility from 25% in 2022 to around 40% in 2025, which clearly evidence of Oman's commitments to circular economy principles, environmental sustainability, and investment opportunities in the vital sectors. Your Excellency, esteemed guests, the circular economy is not just a slogan, it is the responsibility of all of us. I encourage everyone to implement practices to reduce and reuse and recycle the waste, and these practices require ongoing commitments and collaborations. Conferences and symposiums and forums like this, which brings together in government agencies, private sectors, entities, experts from regional and international organizations, will serve as a vital platform to foster meaningful partnerships in this domain. In closing, I extend my heartfelt thanks to His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Ali Al-Amri, Chairman of the Environment Authority, for gracing this event. I also would like to thank all keynote speakers and esteemed guests from the government and private sectors, institutions, and academic and research for their active participations. Special appreciations go to our colleagues at Sohar Aluminium Company for their exceptional efforts and valuable contributions in organizing this forum. I would also like to thank my esteemed and dedicated teams in my Environmental Authority for their helpful and remarkable cooperations. Thank you all, and I wish you a successful forum.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed, for highlighting the importance of a circular economy and laying out a roadmap of the future. The Environment Authority of Oman is responsible for developing programs and plans to protect the environment, preserve its natural resources, and environmental systems. Let us take a look at a video on Environment Authority-led initiatives which are leading Oman towards a sustainable future.
Climate change is a result of our take, make, waste economy. And until now, we've looked at solving climate change largely by switching to renewable energy. We're replacing fossil fuels with wind and solar power at speed all over the world. But the truth is that the energy transition will only solve half the climate problem. It's like we've been reading only half the book, like we've been watching only half the movie. So what completes the picture? Transforming how industry uses materials and how we manage land. That is, transitioning to a circular economy. It's more than energy. It's about transformation. What does that mean? It means we address things before they become a problem and design out emissions before production even begins. We build an economy that eliminates waste and pollution, keeps products and materials in use, and regenerates natural systems. The circular economy can help address climate change by reducing emissions from industry, land use, and agriculture. So how do we make this transition? By businesses embedding the circular economy in their climate strategies and redesigning products and services. By governments setting enabling policies and putting the necessary infrastructure in place. By investors mobilizing capital towards circular economy solutions.
The circular economy plays a really key role in solving many of the problems around climate change. But what it also does is it builds a more resilient economy.
A complete picture of a thriving, zero-emissions economy is coming into focus. The mission now is to make it a reality.
Our first keynote speaker is Mr. Mahmoud Dailami, the Secretary General of the Gulf Aluminium Council. He has over 40 years of experience in the aluminium industry, having previously served as the Deputy Chief Executive at Aluminium Bahrain. Mr. Mahmoud is also the author of Understanding Cultural Diversity in the Gulf, a Management Perspective. Please welcome Mr. Mahmoud, who's joining us virtually.
Good morning. I wonder if you can see me. صباح الخير جميعا. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And thank you for Sahar Aluminium for this opportunity to speak to you about recycled aluminium in the GCC. I'm very sorry that I could not be with you in person because of the situation in our region. Last year, I gave a presentation in the same forum, and I mentioned that the aluminium recycled generation in the GCC was just under 500,000 tons. And that was based on the study that we made in 2015. Last year, we commissioned another study, very comprehensive one. And last year I said that maybe to update our study, we need to extrapolate the figures from 500,000 by adding, maybe 20-25%, taking into consideration the population increase, the production increase since. With the new study that we commissioned last year, it turned out that I was wrong. The amount of recycled aluminium that was generated in the GCC in 2025 was double the figure of 10 years before, at 1.1 million tons. Of course, the population hasn't doubled, the operation hasn't doubled, and I don't think because of the study in 2015 was underestimated, or the study of 2025 is overestimated. Yes, never 100% accurate, but not to that extent. So the main reason for this is the real shift on the importance of recycled aluminium during this period. When we carried out the first studies, we actually didn't do it for the environmental reasons. Environment wasn't a central issue in the aluminium industry. Recycled aluminium business was a side business, not that on the radar of the industry in general, although it existed for a long time. What has shifted during this period is the value, the importance, the contribution of the recycled aluminium to the aluminium industry in general for its low content CO2 emission. Now, this shift is demonstrated in this information. Now, the carbon footprint threshold in scope 1 to 3 per ton of aluminium. Let me just, before I move ahead, explain what I mean by scope 1 to 3. Scope 1 is actually the CO2 equivalent generated at the smelter, the pot line, the cast house, the carbon, the operation on vehicles. When you add power, the CO2 from power station is the scope 2. And CO2 from bauxite mining, alumina refining, transportation to the smelters is considered as scope 3. So what I'm talking about here is the total amount of the CO2 produced per ton of aluminium. Globally, the average is 15 tons of CO2 equivalent per ton of aluminium. And this was 18 tons 3 years ago, which means our industry is moving in the right direction. The low aluminum content, aluminum is 4 or less tons CO2 per ton of aluminum. Recycled aluminum is 0.5 tons of CO2, and that's where the value is, compared to 18 or 25 for coal-powered smelters, or 7 to 10 gas-powered smelters like the ones we have in GCC, or 3 to 4 for hydroelectric. Now, to demonstrate even further how important the recycled aluminum is going to be in the future, it helps us to look at this. If you look at the demand in the right side on the 2025, and the supply in 2025 right on the left, which is almost equal amount in total, the primary, the pink one, was 73 million tons worldwide, and 29 million tons was recycled aluminum, bring the total to meet the demand. And if we look at future estimation, 2035, the demand is going to increase to 128, 125, whatever, and the supply has to match it. And there is an increase in total between now and then in 10 years' time. It's almost 22, 23 million tons of aluminum needed every year. Where that's going to come from? 2 to 3 million tons a year. If we look at 235 supply side, you'll find it's going to increase by 3 million comparing to 25. But if you look at the dark blue, from 29 to 49, 20 million ton coming from the recycled aluminum. And that's a reflection on how the recycled aluminum is now becoming a central issue, central contributor to aluminum industry worldwide. Now, I would like to go to explain a little bit more where that increase is going to take place. If we take a look at the left side, on the box, the dark blue, the current generation worldwide of recycled aluminum, the rate is about 60%. And it's expected to go to 35 to 72 to 75%. Last month, Europe announced that the can recycling reached 76%. We know that can recycling in Brazil and in Japan is almost 90% at the moment. Our recycling in GCC is less than 60%. 3 years ago was around 20-25%. I think we are now on the 30-35%. So the increase is going to come from pre-consumer and post-consumers from China, Europe, North America, and of course the rest of the world. But if you look at China, you'll find the post-consumer is going to increase from 4 to 13, tripling. And that's how important that side of the business is taking place. You'll find about 2 million from Europe, another million from North America, and of course, another more. In GCC, yes, we produce, let's say, half and half at the moment. Later on, I'll go into details. But it's going to also increase as the importance of the recycled aluminum will be also highlighted within all our societies. So let me now go to our study that was carried out last year, but it was based on the generation of 2024. We had 3 objectives in mind. First was to establish the quantities of and the source of the type of recycled aluminum that's generated in GCC. Also, we wanted to find out where that was recycled, how is it recycled, and the quantities. And the third objective was to find out what are the problems. I'm going to focus on the two first objectives. But first, let me give you a picture. Let me first, so we are all in the same page, what I mean by pre-consumer and post-consumer. Pre-consumer, any recycled aluminum generated by the industry itself, the primary, the extruders, the rollers, and the fabricator. And the post, of course, the can generation, buildings, automotive, foils, cables, and so on. Let me give you just a quick picture before we go into recycled aluminum. In 2025, GCC produced almost 6.5 million tons of aluminum in primary aluminum. EGA 2.7, Alba 1.6, and Sohar was 400,000 tons. So UAE was almost 43% of the total. Regrettably, Alba and EGA and Qatalum this year will not be generating the same quantity, will be substantially reduced. I don't know exactly by how much, and all depends on the recovery. So our total will be substantially less this year. On the downside, downstreams, in total, out of the 6.5, we used about 2 million of it. The majority was in rolled product in Saudi Arabia mainly, of course in Oman and Bahrain. And extrusion is about 27% and mainly used locally, but rolled product and others, cables and casting, tend to be for export market. Recycled aluminum in GCC in 2024, although the study was in 25, but the figures was from 24, is 1.1 million tons, of which 56% is post-consumer, 650,000 tons, and 500,000 tons is pre-consumer from the industry itself. That's the general picture of entire GCC. And how that was utilized, 22% was recycled by the local recyclers, and 32% by the producers themselves, the Sohar Aluminium, NAPCO, and also the rolling mill in Oman, and so on, as well as Alba and other things. So I'm talking about entire GCC. It looks here that what was produced by the industry, let's say in Sohar itself, stayed in Sohar Aluminium. What produced at Alba stayed in Alba, but what was produced in the country did not stay in the country. And I explain that a little bit more later. Now, where these sources are from the 650,000 tons of post-consumers, from GCC point of view, the majority, 35%, from building and construction, and then 30% automotive. Can is 19%. The picture per country is totally different. This is collective GCC. You will see later on that Oman, the majority comes from beverage can, and I'll show you that later on. So this is where the sources are in the GCC for post-consumer. Where is this done? Or the generation by country, 1.1 million ton. UAE and Saudi Arabia, almost 80% of the total recycled aluminum generation. And Oman is around 72%, 72,000 tons per year. Now, I heard before it was between 60 and 80, so maybe plus minus, we are in the right figure. From the import and export, where the export takes place and where, from which country, you'll find the UAE and Saudi Arabia are also leading the export of the recycled aluminum as well as the import, although the import is only about 80,000 tons a year. This is the summary of what I have just explained of the total GCC recycled aluminum, the quantities per country generated or utilized, the export and import. From Oman, 72,000 generated, 68,000 utilized, 2,000 exported, and 2,000 also imported. Let me go just be more specific about Oman. The 72,000 in total post and pre-consumers, 74% of it is pre-consumer. So there is a lot of room for post-consumer increase in Oman, which is at the moment only less than 20,000 tons. That could increase substantially in the years to come. 45,000 of that used by the producer who actually generated it. 23,000 tons, which is about 32%, was actually recycled by some of you are here now present today, the processors in the country, in Oman. 4,000 was exported to various locations around the world. Where the collection comes in Oman for post-consumer, 8,000 is beverage can, it's only 40%, 42%. And then automotive and building is about 4 and 4. So can quantities equal to combination of both automotive and construction buildings. And the reason why the construction and building in the GCC became the source because of the economic activity in UAE and Saudi Arabia. But in Oman, can seems to be the major source. They are exported, the 4,000 which is exported mainly to China. I was surprised about Greece, but not big quantity. And they also, it's a small quantity to India and Pakistan, but the bulk of it goes to China. And with that, I come to the end of the presentation. I know there were quite a lot of figures, and I'm happy to answer any question you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud Jailami, for sharing your insights and analysis. Our next keynote speaker is Mr. Abdul Amir Al-Ajmi, Advisor to the Minister for Strategic Planning at the Ministry of Economy. Mr. Abdul Amir is a seasoned energy sector executive with over 30 years of leadership in strategic planning, stakeholder engagement, ICV development, and sustainable economic impact. In his current role at the Ministry of Economy, he leads national development planning and cross-sectoral energy strategy. He was formerly PDO Services Director and a long-standing member of the PDO senior leadership team.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين وصحبه الغر الميامين وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. Your Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Ali Al-Amri, Chairman of Environment Authority, our guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Sohar Aluminium colleagues and senior management for inviting Minister of Economy to shed a light on national project that we launched last year. It's a national project for circular economy in Sultanate of Oman. Actually, we are not talking today only about waste management. It's about economic transformation. There was some focus on waste management, but at the ministry, we would like to have helicopter view on what's happening in the country. Circular economy is a strategic lever for Oman's competitiveness, resilience, and net zero future. So the shift is really big. We are moving from a linear model, which is take, make, and dispose, to a value maximizing model where resources stay in the economy longer at higher value. This is how leading economies are decoupling growth from resource consumption. So in today's presentation, I have this outline. I'll shed some light on the global picture, then why circular economy in Oman, overview of the National Circular Economy Project led by the Minister of Economy and supported by Environment Authority and most of you in this room, key results of this project and the way forward. So sorry for a bit complex slide, but this slide talks about circular economy at the global. If you look into, there are three information I would like to take out or take away today. If you talk about the left-hand side, from 106 billion tons of processed materials globally, only 6.9% are secondary materials, which is go for cycling. So that's basically cycling rate at the global level. And at the far, or the right, your right-hand side, 11 point something, I cannot read. From the, it's better I don't have, but that's some information. So if you see the middle, that's the circular where we have the baseline, and in Oman, we have calculated that baseline as part of this national project, and sometime this year, we'll announce that as well. So what I want to say here, today, the opportunity is really compelling for Oman. Why? Because globally, circular economy is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity by 2030. Countries that move early will capture value. So we have some examples here about Europe, USA, and China. And the question is not if, it is how fast we position Oman to benefit from this circular economy. Because the faster we move to capture value, attract investment, and lead supply chains, that will benefit our economy. In Oman, we are already having something called burning platform, unfortunately. Today, despite different efforts we have in the country, we lack clear national baseline. We don't know what's our baseline of the circular rate at the moment. What's the gap? We don't know that per se. We do not fully measure material use. We have good examples in Sahara Aluminium and other entities, but not everybody is doing that. We do not fully measure waste leakage that we have. And we do not fully measure circular value creation. Without this, we cannot manage or optimize the system. We cannot look and lead this in a comprehensive way. So why circular economy in Oman? These are some benefits. Benefits affecting the environment and benefits affecting the socio-economic. Directly supports net zero 2050, that the country has set a goal for that. Reduces dependency on finite natural resources. Unlocks new economic sectors and jobs. We expect hundreds of jobs and thousands of jobs to be created. Strengthens industrial competitiveness and supply chains, and accelerates Oman Vision 2040 priorities as well. So the response at the ministry, we launched this National Circular Economy project. What it is? It is a structured, data-driven national effort across 3 steps or 3 phases. 1, the baseline. We have to understand where we stand. That's the key. What's the gap we are talking about? Is 1%, 2%, 10%? What's that gap? Step 2 or phase 2 is about scenario modeling to identify what delivers the most impact. So nationally, we'll focus on where we can deliver more value. And the roadmap. We should have a roadmap. Collectively, as a country, as a nation, we have to have that roadmap. Define policies. In the video, we heard about policies, investments, and execution priorities. At the ministry, we didn't do this alone. We did it with most of you in this room and beyond. And what makes this different is really not theoretical. It's data-backed and impact-driven. At workshops, we had invited people, even Aluminium, they were there to present their data. Not sector-specific. It's not about oil and gas or about logistics or about aluminium industry. It's economy-wide transformation. And it's not government alone. The whole of system engagement. And these are some examples of the workshops we had together. So what we discovered that the real value is not in isolated actions. And to some extent that might work, but to drive this at national level, it should be an integrated interventions across sector. And this is where we see step change impact. It's not incremental gains, but it's a holistic view, and everybody knows what their contribution in this roadmap. So we also identified critical enablers for the success of this project to go forward. And what we believe that what leadership really must unlock. National data and measurement systems, we should have those systems. Policy alignment across sector. You know, how we replicate what's happening on Sahara Aluminium to others. How can other entities or industries, they learn from Sahara Aluminium rather than they start from scratch. And targeted financing mechanism if it's required. So at the country level, if we believe that in this entity will make us there, then maybe we need to direct some of our finance mechanism towards that as well. Market signals for secondary materials. Talent, innovation, and SME participation is the lead, and I was really glad to see some of the SMEs that they are playing part, in collecting recycled material and convert them to a nice product. And this was also in the media. So, sorry again for a bit tough slide. So this slide shows type of material that flow in Oman economy. Earlier I showed what flows in the global economic. economy, and this was flows. And you can see down here what kind of material: construction, built environment, manufacturing, food systems, transport and mobility, and consumer goods. And this goes in line with Dr. Mahmoud, president from Bahrain, at the GCC level. And combined interventions here deliver maximum economic and environmental returns. And also at the bottom, societal needs show type and weight of consumptions. And this is, by the way, 2023 as a baseline. And this measured in million tons. So we had to have priority actions, redesign regulations to enable circular construction, scale waste to value systems, especially organic waste, develop industrial systematic ecosystems, and activate private sector participation at scale. This is what we, discussed in these workshops. So, and this is what we agreed as way forward, or sorry, what we are doing at the ministry at the moment. We finished the study or the project. We are verifying the data with the consultant and internally and with the key stakeholders. We will get approvals from the higher management and we present it to the cabinet, hopefully, and they will launch the report. We were hoping to launch the report during the Oman Sustainability Week next month, but the management at the ministry decided to have a separate event later on because of the importance of the topic, and develop national circular economy policy and execute this development, and how to link these with the 11th business plan of the country. So, in closing, what we believe circular economy is not about waste only. It's about how Oman creates and captures value in the next economic era. As I said, today we have linear model. We extract, use, and dispose. We should move to avoid loss value, resource pressure. We should move fast in the circular economy. And if I leave you with 4 key messages for today at the high level or takeaways, we believe this is economic opportunity, honestly, not an environmental obligation only. We cannot act without data and prioritization in mind at the country level. And we believe that this project gives us full visibility of the gap. We have that gap, we know it. We are verifying that gap at the moment. Impact will come from system-wide, not fragmented action. Honestly, stakeholders, the ecosystem should work together in this. Not only Sahara Aluminium, they are leading in that, but the rest of the entities, the rest of the industries should work together. Success will require policy alignment, private sector activation, and a clear roadmap for execution. And the last point, we believe this is a very strong forward-looking initiative that we launched at the ministry. And we believe circular economy is once in a generation opportunity to redesign how our economy works. And again, really what matters now is speed, alignment, and decisive execution. Thank you so much.